Okay, here we go. Last review before the test. So, first question, add and subtract the polynomials. When you add and subtract, all you're doing is combining up like terms. For addition, the first thing I want to do is look for like terms. I go to the highest power. I have x squared and 4x squared. I have one of them here, four of them there. That means I have 5x squared. And they're done. Then I go to the next one. I have x's. I have negative 3x. And then I have 2x. Negative 3 plus 2 gives me 1. So I have 1x. And so my x's are gone. And then I have 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So there's your answer. On the second one, it's subtraction. And what I always do is take my subtraction, make it addition. So the subtraction sign becomes addition. And then everything that follows in the parentheses changes sign. This becomes a negative 2x squared, a negative 4x, and then a plus 9. And then I combine like terms again, just like I did in the previous problem. I have 5x squared minus negative 2x squared, 5 minus 2. So I have 3x squared. I have 3x, negative 4x, 3 minus 4, that's negative 1x. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. And then all I have left is negative 5 plus 9. Negative 5 plus 9 gives me 4. And that's your answer. Moving on to the next set of problems, multiplying the polynomials. For the first one, all you're doing is distributing. I have 8x times negative x squared, so that's negative 8x cubed. 8x times 3x. 8 times 3 gives me 24. X times x gives me x squared. 24x squared. And then 8x times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. And then I have an x here, so I have to have 32x. On the next problem, I have two terms, a binomial times three terms, a trinomial. The only way to really do this well is to set up a box. So I set up a 2 by 3 box. My binomial, my first two terms go on the side here, 2x and a negative 1, and then my trinomial goes on top, 3x squared, 6x, and a minus 4. And then I fill in the boxes like a multiplication chart. 2x times 3x squared gives me 6x cubed. 2x times 6x gives me 12x squared. 2 times 6 is 12. X times x is x squared. 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. And then I take negative 1 times all of these to fill in the bottom row. Negative 1 times 3x squared is negative 3x squared. Negative 1 times 6x is negative 6x. Negative 1 times negative 4 is 4. Now, I have multiplied everything. Now I need to just combine up like terms. Once again, the nice thing about my box is my like terms are on the diagonal from each other. So I have the first term is 6x cubed. And then I have negative 3x squared plus 12x squared. 12 minus 3, that means I have 9x squared. And then I have negative 8x and negative 6. Negative 6 plus negative 8 is negative 14x's. And then I have my last term, plus 4. Now, on this next one, 2x minus 3 times x plus 2, I can either do the box again, set up a 2 by 2 box and do that, or I can use the FOIL method, and I'm going to use the FOIL method on this one. F for first terms, 2x times x, 2x squared. O for outside terms, 2x times 2 gives me 4x. I for the inside terms, negative 3 times x, negative 3x. L for the last terms, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. I've multiplied everything. I have my like terms in the center. I combine them up. I get 2x squared, positive 4, negative 3. That gives me 1x minus 6. And then the last one, x minus 7 squared. I can do it as a perfect square and use the shortcut, in which case you take the first number and square it to get x squared. Multiply the 2, which gives you negative 7x. Double that for my middle term to get negative 14x. And then take the last number and square it to get plus 49. I don't have to do it that way. I can say, oh, x minus 7 squared is x minus 7 times x minus 7, and then I can FOIL it like I just did in the previous problem, or I can go, oh, I'm going to set up a box, and let me do that a little bit larger here. Set up a box. Okay, that's not that much larger, but you get the idea. X minus 7, fill it in. X squared, negative 7x, negative 7x, 49. My like terms are still on the diagonal. And look what I get. X squared minus 14x plus 49. That works either way. Okay. And then we get to factoring. First one, 5x plus 35. This is not a quadratic. I don't have to worry about doing that. What I do want to do is look for my greatest common factor. What divides into 5x and into 35? That's 5. So I pulled a 5 out of 5x. That leaves me with x. I had 35. I took out 5. That leaves me 7. 5 times x plus 7. On the next problem, it's a unique factoring, x squared minus 49. This is a perfect square, x squared minus 7 squared. 49 is 7 squared. When you have a square minus a square, your factoring is x plus the square, plus what you're squaring, and x minus what you're squaring. Okay. We get down to the next ones. These ones are all to be set up using an X box or something like that. I like the big X. It works pretty well. In the top, I have negative 48 from this number times the one that's in front. And then I have an 8 in the bottom. Two numbers that multiply to give me negative 48. That when I add them, I get positive 8. That would be 12 and 4, 12 and negative 4. I have one x. I don't divide these by anything because I have one x squared. I don't have a number in front of the x squared other than the 1. These don't get divided. These are my two factors. X plus 12, x minus 4. This next one works the same way. I set up an X box. I have 24 on the top. Negative 10 on the bottom. Two numbers that multiply to give me 24 that add to give me negative 10. Because this is negative and that's positive, they're both going to be negative. And that would be 6 and 4. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 plus 4 is 10. Once again, I don't have anything in front of the x, which means I don't divide either one of these. I just have x minus 6, x minus 4. Almost done. Same thing here on the last one. Now there are two ways I can look at this one. It is a square. This is a perfect square. I can factor it as a perfect square. But if you just want to set up an X box, 81 and 18, two numbers that multiply to give me 81 and add to give me 18, that would be 9 and 9. Once again, there's nothing in front of the x squared, so I don't do anything to the 9s. So that would be x plus 9 times x plus 9. You could give me that, or you could write this as x plus 9 squared. Either answer will work for the test. And then last but not least, set up the X box here. This one's a little more complicated. My number on top is from multiplying the two numbers. 4 times negative 9 gives me negative 36. I multiply the two numbers here to get my top number there. My middle number, negative 5, goes there. Two numbers that multiply to give me negative 36 that add to give me negative 5. Hey, guess what? It's still the same two numbers I just multiplied. Negative 9 and positive 4. That's just lucky. Don't always plan on that. Now, the one thing that's different on this one from the other ones is this first number here is not 1, it's 4. So what do I have to do? I have to divide both of these by 4. Now, negative 9 over 4 does not reduce, but 4 over 4 does reduce to 1. These are my two factors. From the negative 9 fourths, I get 4x minus 9. The 4 gives me that. The negative 9 gives me that. My second factor is just x plus 1 because of the 1 there. Okay? So make sure you know how to do that. Good luck on the test.